Hello. It's that time of year when whenever you get a nice day, it's really tempting to rush outside and do loads in the garden. And certainly I could do with doing a bit of tidying up. So I thought this week I'd show you some of the bits and pieces that I have managed to get done, and also give you a reminder, something you could be doing now in your polytunnel or greenhouse to help get you off to a really good start this growing season. I'm out in the chicken run this morning and I've spent a little while rearranging the straw bales. Here they are that I've put in here. So I had them along the wall behind me and they were lying sort of flat like that, and I've now rearranged them so they're upright, so they go up the sides a bit more. And I think we can see here, chickens can still get up on them, no problem at all. Hello little green hen, and she's called Green because she's got a green bracelet on her leg. So they each have a coloured bracelet, so we can identify them. If there's a problem with one of them, we know which one to pick up and deal with. So I've put these straw bales here to create a bit more of a windbreak, and then behind me where they were, so they were along there, I found a really huge piece of wood which I think used to be part of, well, maybe an aviary roof or something, but anyway, it's just lying around. It's going to start, well, it has started rotting, so it might as well come across the back there on the outside, not on the inside of the run, to create a wind barrier there. The chickens will still get plenty of light. They've got a cover here, but then they'll have most of the light coming in. They can jump up on the bales to see what's going on outside. And I just think that will make it a little bit less windy in here. I watched them during Storm Dara, and the poor things were getting blown around everywhere. They were like hunkering right down, which is what I would expect a chicken to do. But this way they just have a bit more of a windbreak, and I think that would be nicer for them. I've just collected some cabbage leaves, and the darker ones are purple sprouting broccoli. Actually, they're white sprouting broccoli. So I'm going to hang these up in the chicken run for them to peck at. So I've got, I put baling twine across the roof, and I'm going to make a loop in that. So it's just baling twine that's just hanging down. Right then, girls, leave the stuff alone that I put on the side there, and have a go at this. Come on, girlies. Well, you do like it, which is good news. There we go. There we go. So, well, this one you can reach from there. Why don't you get down? Well, I suppose you wouldn't want to, would you? Get there. So now they can jump up to get the leaves. Or one on that side, they can just stand on the hay bales. Are you jumping? Well done, girls. Well, happy girls. That will keep them amused for a while, and me. This is at the front of our house. I kind of never ever show you this because it's always been such a mess. So the hedgerow here is very overgrown, and in the last couple of days Mr. J and I have been out and we've really started cutting the hedge back, getting rid of loads and loads of brambles and ash trees and all sorts of other bits and pieces that we didn't want, and we've been clearing the ground. We've freed the, that's the only way I can describe it, is we freed the shed from the brambles and the chaos. And in fact, there's a really beautiful rose here. There's a rambling rose called Felicity a Perpetuae. It's absolutely wonderful. And then there's also a lilac there, obviously too early to see it as yet. We've filled 2 huge dumpy bags full of the cuttings and the clippings from the hedgerow. Now I know that this year they're unlikely to put on a great display because both of them flower on last year's growth, and we've cut most of that back, but hopefully next year it'll give us a really nice display. We've continued to deal with the aftermath of Storm Dara, which has blown down fences and pallet fences, ripped apart sheds. There's been quite a lot to do. So I'm going to create a space here for seedlings to germinate and to grow on. But I'm going to do it so it's raised off the ground, and that's because there's wildlife living in this polytunnel, and I don't want my seeds and young seedlings to be food for slugs, snails, and even for things like voles. So my plan is to only use things that I already have on site. So I've got some metal poles, I've got baling twine which is attached to wires up on the ceiling, and I've got some metal grid stuff which I've had for, I don't know, about 10 years now. So my idea is to put these poles, hang the poles up, and then put the grid on top. Now last year I just attached the grid here, and I found it quite hard to work with. Because this is only a temporary fixture, you could use twine, you could use household string. It wouldn't necessarily need to be baling twine. And the idea is that this is pretty much horizontal level. So what I'm going to do is tie this one so that it's in a loop that I can adjust. I hope. And do this by eye. So tie that into a bow, and then this one can come along a bit. Oh, well, I do want that one to go along a bit. I've got a bit of wood. There are reasons that I keep bits and pieces around. So I'm going to put that hopefully sort of in the middle. Move that one across to sort of in the middle. That one to match the first one. There we go. Happy days. And again, I'll loop this around and tie it. There we go. So now this second side, and the hard bit on this is to get it so that it's level with the first side. And this I know will be one of those try it and see and adjust it several times things. So we'll come back when I've got that done. So I think I'm nearly there. I think this one is possibly a little bit lower than this, but we shall see as we adjust it. The next thing I need to do is to get my bit of metal grid. I can't remember what this was from. It's not something I bought, it was something that was lying around, I think, in our last home when we got there. But I like it very much, and one of the reasons I like it so much is that because it's an open grid rather than a solid base. Try that again, shall I? Because it's an open grid rather than a solid base, it allows the water to drain through, and any seedlings on here aren't just sitting in a pool of water. So here we go. Now, that's looking very nice. I'm fairly sure it's not level. I can see it leans that way. So I can let this side down or raise that side up. And because I've got a fixed one in the corner there, I'm going to raise this side up at a later moment. So what it means now is that I have something that I can put seed trays on. So once I've sown things, they can live here. It's very easy, nice height for me to water them, to work with them, but they're high enough up off the ground that things can't jump up and access them. Because they're hanging, slugs can't get at them without going all the way up the polytunnel and then doing some sort of feat of magic by kind of lunging from the ceiling at them. The only way they will get there is if they are on the underneath of the trays as I put them on. So I need to be very careful when I'm sowing my seeds that I don't use trays that have already got slugs on them. Now the other thing I want to put on here are these trays. These are the drip trays for grow bags. I really like the size of them because I can get plenty of small seed trays in. There we go. And once I've brought out my spirit level to make sure that this is horizontal, any water in those seed trays isn't just going to pour out, it will remain there. And so now I am ready and prepared for seed sowing.